Hello and welcome to the final video in this series. It's also probably going to be the shortest, but it's quite important because we're looking at how to use ResearchGate to find research. So why use ResearchGate to find literature and research? We may have access to literature databases, but they are expensive and not all institutions have a broad access to many different subscriptions. So ResearchGate is one area where we might be able to find research. We're also able to find different types of research, so not just peer-reviewed articles, but for example, in the case of Japan, in university bulletins, which may have research that is of interest but might be quite difficult to find. So many international researchers now are adding their outputs, or at least details of their outputs, to academic social networks. Many journals now are allowing researchers to upload pre-print versions at least of their articles, and so it may be a space for researchers to get access to literature that they might not be able to access anywhere else. Also, the algorithms that are used by ResearchGate personally are quite good at making appropriate recommendations. Of course, they are not perfect, and our literature searches should not be limited to one tool. Not everyone uses ResearchGate, not everyone uploads all of their outputs. So this is one space where we might be able to find research. So in order to find research, your home page is going to be most important. That's the page that you see first. It's the page people see when they visit you, but you can click on the home button at any time if you've lost yourself. It's in the top left corner. But what you will see is a big list of different activity, and that will be constantly changing. So what you will see, for example, are papers, research, that is suggested by ResearchGate based on your interests. So this yesterday came up on my home page. Recently, I've been researching about doctoral researchers who are also mothers, and so obviously what I'm looking at and what I'm posting has told ResearchGate that I'm interested in academia and motherhood. So I've been sent this paper that I didn't know about. So I'm really interested to take a look at that. So in your homepage feed, you will also be given recommendations based on your network. So that is who you are following. So for example, if someone I'm following adds a new article, I'll see that, and so I'm seeing this quite quickly. If someone I follow is cited in a publication, I might also see that in my feed, in my home feed. Again, I won't see everything that everyone does because there's, especially if we are following a lot of people, but the algorithms are all working to try to give you the information that it feels is most appropriate for you. So again, following the right people is really important. Perhaps not a huge number of people, but people who are specifically interested in a similar research field. Again, based on your network, if someone you follow recommends some research, you're going to more likely see that in your field. So someone I follow is recommended for items, and I've been that's been given attention to me. So all of this works in the opposite way. So if someone is following me, they're more likely to see what I post and what I recommend, what I share, for example. So if I do find some research on ResearchGate that I'd like to read, there are a few options. If you see this button as download, it means that there's a full text available. So it means that the author has copyright, has the right to upload and share that with everyone, so you can download it. Or it may be a preprint copy, so it won't be the perfect final polished copy. So if you want to cite it, it might be an idea to get a copy of the original, but at least you can see a version of the paper. If there is not a full text copy available for download, you will be able to request a full text. If that researcher has uploaded a private copy and they regularly access ResearchGate, they'll get that notification, and with the click of a button, they'll be able to send you a copy for your own personal use in a private message. And that is all done quite easily with some buttons, but again, it is not a perfect solution to accessing research. For example, if they don't access ResearchGate very often, but it is a chance that you can get some relevant research that you can't access anywhere else. So I would suggest, before pressing this button, to go and check if you can access it somewhere else. So if you do use the request full text function, you'll see a message like this. It's already written for you, so you don't have to worry about how should I write this? Is my English okay? Researchers are very used to getting these messages through ResearchGate if they are active users, and they'll get this message, I'm interested. You can edit this if you liked, if you'd like to make a more personal request, but this is the standard way. We just press send and it's all done. And the same for replying. You'll just get a message, here's the research, please, for your own personal use. And so you actually don't have to use any English at all if you don't want. It's all done automated. So a few final notes. This video was quite short, but it really is dependent on all of the other ways in which you've set up your profile, in how effective the algorithms will work. So if you make sure that you set up your profile really well with your interests and your experiences listed, if you're sharing your research with others so that the algorithms can learn what your field is and your interest in the keywords, and to follow the researchers in your field so that you're more likely to see their research in your field. So those recommendations come up on your profile page, and it regularly changes. So it's probably best to log in frequently, or if you can't log in so much, you can scroll down and keep looking at the changes. It's not just new work. Of course, you're going to get new publications quite quickly, but even if someone is sharing, recommending, liking old studies, then they may come up in your field too. So it's a good way to get access to really new research, but also to get research that is connected to you, that might not be from from recent times, and it might not be from your specific context. So different countries, different methods, for example. So that's the end of this series of 8 videos. I hope that it was useful for you in deciding whether or not you want to use ResearchGate. And if you do, hopefully some of the things that I've talked about in this series will help it be an effective way to get research, get your research out there, and to connect with researchers around the world. And please feel free to follow me if you like, and reach out if you would like some advice about using ResearchGate and other academic social networks. Thank you.